Alright guys, as we saw in the last game, being unified as a team is paramount. Check out what our teams had to say about team cohesion.
Cohesion is probably the most important part about winning League of Legends.
Team cohesion is really what separates the good teams from the amazing teams in this tournament.
Typically the teams with the best communication are teams that win the most.
Teamwork, cohesion, and synchronization is definitely the most important things in League of Legends.
The chemistry in League of Legends has to be spot on. If you know your jungler takes one more step than usual, that's his initiation. He's going in for the fight. You need to tail on him as soon as possible.
Teamwork is very, very important in a team game. There's a whole new aspect when you're working with 5 people. If you don't communicate with your teammates, you're going to lose.
There's a lot of really strong individual players, but when you come down to playing a LAN event and playing as a team, it's your team cohesion that matters, it's your preparedness that matters, and individual skill is not enough to carry you.
It can often become automatic, where one player will say, I'm going, and they'll say, or they won't even have to say it.
He knows what I'm going to do before I do it, essentially.
Or like the Power Rangers, when we all get together in the Megazord.
And then we make like a huge machine.
If the decision's like lesser than what we would get in the end, we all have to be on the same page, otherwise we just all lose.
All right, guys, it's a pretty simple equation. A win for CLG brings them one step closer this season to World Championship, $1 million first place prize, and a paid salary in the League of Legends Season 3. For CLG, or actually for Legion, it's win or go home to bring it to that third match. So let's do this.
Yeah, we are going to be ready. The players are ready. We are in a champion select, and we're here for Game 2. Just said, it's win or go home for Legion. They need this game right now. It is the most important game of their lives. If they can make this happen, they need to make this happen. If they can, though, they can move on to the semifinals and they can win this best of 3. We're seeing the bans come out here. Karthus and Shen repeat bans from last time. So far, they're liking some of their early champion select strategies.
Yeah, this is actually huge. As you said, one of the biggest games of their life, a culmination of a year's worth of work, getting these circuit points under their belt, trying to be the best team that they can be, and now faced with strats like this. CLG waiting all of this time, biding their time in Korea to learn this and bring themselves for a vying spot in Los Angeles for the Season 2 championship. Legion, however, not going home that easy. The picks and bans that come out, and Legion is dead set on winning this match.
Yeah, and you can see, though, they're still sticking to the things they've been doing so far. They've not made any big changes yet.
Right.
The one thing I have seen, though, is their picks and bans are going a lot slower. They're taking a lot more time saying, okay, are we really banning Alistar? We're blue team, we're first pick. Okay, yes, we are going to remove that. We're going to pick something else for our main champion here. You're seeing Nunu, Shen. Again, very similar champions being banned out here. 2 global presence champions in Karthus and Shen being removed. CLG once again banning Nunu.
We'll have to see that Sona ban now coming out. They do not want that area of effect stun coming out of Crescendo. It is such a good initiation / re-initiation into a fight. We saw them use it a few times, and really it forces the other team to blow a lot of their summoner spells. Nobody wants to get caught in that in late game. Maybe once everyone's getting their ultimates, you have time to walk out of it. You can exhaust somebody. But at that late game, when the burst is so heavy, especially with true damage from a champion like Olaf, you're not going to be able to get out in time. So they do not want to see that Sona again.
No, absolutely. That was definitely... when it's a champion that your opponent's first pick, it's because they really, really want to play the champion, and you're silly if you kind of allow them to play that the second time in a row. Now, they like the Gragas picker that Big Fat took last time. They're going to grab that for themselves. But yeah, Legion taking some cues from last game. Now, CLG, of course, they've done the research. The Nocturne ban, should have said it in Game 1, but that is Loud Immortus' #1 jungle champion. If he can take Nocturne, he's going to do that every single time. It's like the intended with Olaf, except Nocturne is one of those top-tier champions that everyone kind of really likes to play, and so it's a little bit more contested there. The dude loves his Nocturne. They've grabbed that Gragas and it's going to start setting up the game. It was interesting, actually. I was listening in on Dignitas' chat in their second game against Dynamic, and they were like, okay, so what do we want to ban? What do we want to ban? It was like, they're not going to first pick Gragas, just go for it. And they first picked Gragas. And so this guy, he's seen his share of first pick choices here. Olaf and Janna, the pickups here for Counter Logic Gaming. No one's played very heavy hands just yet. There's nothing that tells what strategy you're going to run. Bobe doubling up on Olaf. He had a great time the first time. He's going to keep going for that.
Yeah, it's going to be great for him. And these guys coming out in this, we haven't seen a lot of this in the tournament because they've been banned out. Those dive buddy compositions, Shen and Nocturne, the quasi-global and global ultimate to come in together and initiate on the fight. We've really seen that composition shut out. Nobody wants to see it. It's a very heavy assassin combination when you can get two people to jump in that quick in a fight and really blow you away. But with those champions banned out, we see that CLG is taking all of those teleports, so they can still create that composition if they want through summoner spells.
Yeah, and we're just seeing the picks come on through. One of the great things I've just now seen here for Legion is that Blitzcrank Corki duo lane. This is an awesome set of champions. Corki is very aggressive early on, deals a lot of early burst damage with his abilities, and he has a great late game scaling as well. That passive granting him bonus true damage when he attacks it will let him scale. Corki is a phenomenal early game and a phenomenal late game and a pretty good mid game attack damage carry as well. He's going to be one of the big forces here for Legion. You add on top of that a Blitzcrank, and a Blitzcrank has a great set of tricks up his sleeves as well. His primary ability, Rocket Grab, is going to pull someone in from far away, which, if you synergize with a great early game champion like Corki, means you can start pummeling your opponents early and picking up really fast kills. And then late game, getting that initiation, pulling in an enemy champion out of nowhere, you can turn a fight like nothing. It's kind of like the Anivia of supports, where you can just suddenly make a fight, have really weird numbers. No matter how far down you are in gold, you can always 5 versus 1.
You know, and it's funny, Freak, as I said before, Moscow 5 liking to take Janna to make that roam faster. They actually went for Janna this time since Sona was banned out. They can't get that speed aura from her, so they're going to take the total passive for the entire map on their team from Janna this time.
Yeah, I mean, Logic Gaming really running almost the same composition as last time. If they switched to 3 teleports and promotes at the end, I wouldn't really be surprised. Now, they were forced to pick Janna instead of Sona because Sona was banned. They're forced not to take Gragas because Gragas was first picked, but I'm going to laugh if they pick something quite similar. We'll see how that pans out. They're looking at Rise right now. So this Logic Gaming lineup, let's look at it real quick. They've got a nice damaging front line in Dr. Mundo and Olaf. Both of these guys can build very, very tanky and rely on base damages or different types of scaling to keep themselves alive in this game. Olaf can give himself bonus attack damage just by building health. Dr. Mundo has a lot of free plus attack damage and just free damaging abilities around him as well. So they can both be very tanky, be very strong initiators. Even though they don't stun themselves, they can still be tanky in the front line. Oh, wow. CLG are going to pick up Twisted Fate. Now, he is a playmaker. That is probably the champion to watch here for Counter Logic. Twisted Fate has a wonderful kit that lets him move around the map out of nowhere, set up ganks, and split push. His ultimate, Destiny, it reveals all enemy champions on the map. You can see CLG up in front of you. There, in fact, Big Fat right there, the guy who's going to be playing Twisted Fate. So he reveals all the enemy champions on the map, and then he can teleport anywhere in a very, very long range. It's almost global. He can show up almost anywhere he wants, and he can use that to show up for a gank because he can stun, so he can show up behind an enemy champion and force them to die, or he can push on one side of the map. If he gets caught, just zips somewhere else, and he sets up more numerical advantages elsewhere. Now, CLG's not going to go for heavy teleports this time, but they've still got that global presence because of Twisted Fate.
It's going to be very big. We do see Prolly on Gragas in mid. The communication between these guys is going to have to be huge. As Freak was saying, TF can pretty much show up anywhere he wants after getting Destiny, his ultimate. So Gragas has to be communication ready. He has to let them know TF's out of lane. He could be teleporting. Yeah, they're going to see the eye appear over their head for Destiny, but sometimes even that's too late. Also, he can stop that with exploding cast. So if he can get himself into range, he may be able to thwart a lot of what Big Fat wants to bring to this game.
Oh, absolutely. But the thing is, at the last second, CLG actually did swap their summoner spells and brought that promote in 2 summoners. So they've got the teleport on Prolly, so he can catch up, as you just said. But they've still got the global teleport. We are into the game here as well. Let's see what unfolds. If the level 1's going to be crazy, we're going to find out. Guys, cheer for your favorite teams. The blue team this time around is Team Legion. They're down 0-1. They are a game from elimination. Do you guys want to see a game 3? And if you do, let me hear you cheer for Legion.
And on the opposite side with game 1 under their belt, trying to take it to game 2 and bring themselves out of the quarterfinals. If you would like to see CLG move on today, let me hear you for Counter Logic Gaming. Oh my, big fat LP almost getting rocket grabbed there, and that just seemed absolutely planned. He said, I'm going to stand in the far part of the tri-bush. I think Legion has done their homework, and it looks like they did. They also, however, are bringing a great amount of area effect to the table. They have Equalizer from Rumble, the Exploding Cask, along with Unstoppable Force, and as Nubish gets himself in there, he's going to be able to silence everybody with his ultimate on Blitzcrank.
Yeah, Legion's lineup is all about area of effect damage. Last time it was area of effect defense. They had the Maokai ultimate, the Soraka ultimate. They wanted to keep themselves durable in fights. This time it's the other way around. They want to blow up everyone as fast as possible. The difficulty for them, though, is there's a little bit of anti-synergy. So Loud Immortus on Malphite can knock everyone up in the area and deal a lot of damage and set that up for the rest of his team's ultimates. But Probably on Gragas knocks everyone away from where it explodes. But Cruiser on Rumble wants everyone to stand exactly where they are for the burning damage from Equalizer. So if they coordinate properly, they'll be fine. But if they put all their ultimates together at the same time, they're going to actually waste a lot of their damage output.
And they're actually going to leave a Wolf there, the big one, so it's got a different respawn time, and he's not going to get as much experience, but they have gone around. The default strat, if you are getting invaded, you know what, go ahead and take their blue. Because sometimes if you don't get a kill off that and you take the blue, you can still have that hunger. Oh, they pull it out. Maybe getting their own blue, but they stop it from happening. A beautiful job, and CLG is thwarted on trying to invade. LGN definitely picks up a little bit of a lead here.
Wow, really, really nice job. Now, Voyboy, he got his own Lizard buff. A cool set of plays here by Counter Logic. They set for a jungle invade on one side, while Voyboy soloed a buff for himself. Now, he's brought Summoner Teleport, who's going to go back in, heal, and show back up in lane, empowered and level 2 with a Lizard buff. That's going to be really nice for him. Meanwhile, CLG, actually another lane swap here. They sent Big Fat back to that bottom lane once more. Twisted Fate's going to be in a 1 versus 2, and probably in a 1 versus 2 himself is going to fight against Doublelift and Chouster once more. Now, this is pretty good for Gragas. Gragas has great sustain, and he can farm from a distance. I like this a lot better than last time for Legion.
What a crazy lane for Big Fat to be in. Nubish is totally going to camp the tip of that bush, and unless there's minions, he cannot come out even 50% past his turret range. This is going to be really bad for him to farm, and you can already see him thinking about going into the jungle to try to get some creeps for himself. Minions, rather.
Yeah, well, the one big thing to worry about here is Blitzcrank is the epitome of a 2 versus 1 shutdown. If you try to last hit against Blitzcrank, there is a high chance you're going to get rocket grabbed right into that Corki and die very, very fast. Doublelift some nice reflexes, using that spell shield to not take damage from Prawley's barrels, and that's a great move by him. But I'm still so worried right now. Legion's bottom lane right here is going to shut down Big Fat.
There we go. We see a promote already being used in middle to help that wave out with the siege minion. You're going to get one of those every 3 waves. You'll probably see that promote coming out every once in a while as well. Voyboy playing a very strong lane top, trying to true damage through that scrap shield of Cruiser. Cruiser known for his Lee Sin, but haven't seen any of it here in the tournament really. Lee Sin, one of those dive buddy compositions we were talking about, but it may just not be where they want to go. They wanted more area of effect. They wanted a little bit more of a tanky lineup. It's going to help them with Cruiser on Rumble. Initiation a little bit better as well. Hotshot now coming down through his jungle to Wraiths. Nobody really advancing too much. A grab just missing on bottom. And it looks like they are going to be quite safe. They have switched the lane backs. They figured out that against Blitzcrank, it was not good to have that TF.
Yeah, that was a scary thing. I don't know if they were expecting some kind of lane swap from Legion and sending their bottom lane top like we saw in Game 1. And they're like, okay, well, Twisted Fate can 1v1 Gragas. It'll be fine. It'll be happy. And that, of course, wasn't the case. So ultimately, CLG losing a bit of time. Of course, Twisted Fate himself not running Summoner Teleport and not level 6 means he has to walk it all the way back. So he's a little bit behind here. Only 11 minions to 18. Gragas is in the lead here. We'll see if that transitions well in the mid game.
Seeing a few go back. Mundo buying wards as he comes back into the jungle. Overdrive going on. The shield is up, though. He's trying to bait it out. We saw this yesterday, playing a little cheeky as they try to grab that. She is going to get mana for her spell shield, and they will be able to initiate on that. It's only going to be Power Fist after to knock her up. So if they can really get in and do some damage, it is going to help them in that lane. They just need the damage trade to be in their favor, and you can see how cautious they're playing due to what can actually happen if they mess up in the slightest way.
Oh yeah, and the interesting thing here about having a Janna in the lineup is if you pull Janna, you're in really, really bad shape. It's very easy to pick down a Janna if you do get her out of position. There's a lot of crowd control on that Legion lineup in the bottom lane, and Corki has a ton of burst damage. However, they've got Sivir. Sivir is happy to just tank that damage because she'll just be fine with that spell shield, basically.
It looks like they are going for aggression top, but they don't know Laudamortis is in the bush. Yes, he did coming in. They throw wards in. First blood going down onto Voyboy is a very good counter. Comes from Laudamortis, coming from the aggressive push on the top side.
Wow, that was basically a counter gank there,
yep.
Where, you know, like he was basically baiting for Laudamortis for the gank, and CLG was like, aha, we can gank you. And I think they expected him to be there, and it just didn't matter. And oh my gosh, hot shot.
Ticked down, no way. They're going to get him with one more. Then he's going to make it out alive with his flash. A very nice pickup there. Hot shot just getting a little complacent, thinking he had his own jungle to himself. Laudamortis playing mechanically well right now.
And there we go. That was the early Laudamortis aggression that Legion needed to see here from game 1. They've got it back here in game 2. Gragas just level 6 as well with that little experience advantage. He's going to jump in onto Big Fat. Almost lands the body slam. If he hit that, he was going to go for the burst, and he might have picked up the kill there as well.
That would have been very big. Yeah, Big Fat has no retaliation right now with mana. Maybe to get that pick a card up for yellow and get himself out, but it was going to be very, very big. He could not have just used that 4 mana in the blue card. It was going to be quite an aggressive stomp by Gragas. We see Laudamortis going through. Doesn't really want to do too much here as he just smites down the Wraith, and he wants to keep his movement going. He wants to head to the other side and start denying more jungle in that side for Hotshot.
Yeah, Hotshot only level 4 right now. He's going to go ahead and clear out some Wraiths. He's going to get a bit of golden experience back, but he is nowhere near as beefy as Laudamortis. He is level 6 on Malphite. He's learned Unstoppable Force. He's picked up an, oh my gosh, the gank coming in, the ultimate up, double lift getting knocked into the air 3 times now. The exhaust is on. Can they do enough damage? One hit, he's going to flash away, and Demon Lord must Valkyrie, but here comes the teleport. Twisted Fate shows up. He cleanses the stun. Here comes teleport. Can he do the damage? Explosive cast pushes Big Fat back away. They will not pick a kill out of that. That flash is going to keep him alive. And wow, a 0 for 0, but so much action in that fight.
Yeah, back and forth. Everybody's using everything correctly. The Gragas ult kind of pushing away too far as he stepped as it was in the air. That would have really been the solidifier for the kill, securing them a little bit more gold. Right now, LGN doing very well. They're up 2-0 at 8 minutes into the game. The Crab just missing there as he gets himself a little CS.
Wow, an excellent try there. I'm just reliving that fight in my mind as another hook comes out. Double spell shield with the first one in that last battle. The ability of Legion to get into a location really, really fast is going to be their big key to victory here if they can do it. You know, they're going to wait maybe on Laudamortis' ultimate to come back up. Unfortunately, he did not have the golem buff when he went for it last time, so that cooldown reduction was not there. His ultimate has to enjoy its full cooldown and is still a minute away. But Malphite there is going to be a big reason that LGN might pick up their 3rd kill of this game.
So Freak right now with a lot of the lanes hitting level 6. Most of the supports still waiting on that. Actually, Nubish is still level 5 as Chowster is 6. What is the potential in these early game fights? We haven't really gotten to the late game. Nobody's seeing really any core items yet. Where do you see the strength in these fights?
The strength right now is going to be with Dr. Mundo. Counterlogic Gaming is in a, oh my gosh, almost that golem steal. Nice try by Prawley. I like CLG right now for most of these battles, only because this top lane is isolated right here. Cruiser and Voyboy, actually Voyboy can leave because of teleport, but Cruiser, it's going to be hard for him to leave his top lane. And so CLG, with a numbers advantage because of teleports, and with just generally speaking better base damages, you know, early Janna shields mid-game are amazing. The second Janna hits level 9, she's the best support in the game because she grants 50 attack damage when everyone has only 50 attack damage, basically. And so you become invincible and deal way too much damage. You know, CLG can put on the pressure really, really easily. Double Lift as well can just put out so much base damage as Sivir has one of the few attack damage scaling nukes in the game on an AD carry. And you add that up with the Janna shield and she's going to deal a ton of burst. So ultimately, it's a scary landscape here. CLG has more mobility and more damage right now in these mid-game fights.
Chowster backing up a little bit here. They don't really know what's happening, and they know they're actually going to play it safe and back for this one. We do see that he only has about 775 gold under his belt right now. That top gold, I believe, does go to Double Lift himself, and it's going to be between him and actually Demon Lord. So those AD carries really putting on the pressure, getting that CS down bottom. They've been playing well for themselves. Everybody's really after those 2 kills. CLG is saying these guys are taking us out pretty methodically. We have to figure out why that's happening. We haven't seen CLG half aggressive as they were last game, and it really looks like LGN has a bit more control this game.
Yeah, Legion did a lot better job this time. Their lane swaps worked in their favor. They had a giant shutdown on the Twisted Fate. Their mid lane wasn't too scary overall, and they didn't give up that first blood with a silly invade. So Legion have corrected all of their early game mistakes, and this is what happens when you have a great early game, is you start pulling ahead. Now, the one thing for Counter Logic Gaming is they've actually gotten the gold lead a little bit smaller. It was over 1,000 gold difference. Now it's only 900, 800, something like that. So CLG, if the status quo stays as it is, are going to get closer and closer together and then suddenly start pulling ahead. And Legion cannot allow that to happen. The late game potential here of CLG is amazing. Olaf scales infinitely. Dr. Mundo is going to keep getting tankier. Double lift on Sivir is going to be phenomenally strong, and you really don't want to fight a super late game Twisted Fate. You'll never keep your turrets alive, and you'll never fight a 5-on-5. So Legion wants to turn up this pace, and actually some pace happening at the top of the map. Big Fat up in a fight, trying to juke out, and no, thank you so much. Damage coming out, but a great stun. Give the barrel hit, no! Big Fat makes it out, a nice stun, and running away with Ghost, even kept his flash. Actually, the flash was still on cooldown just barely. So that was a small window that he still had.
Oh, here we go. Overdrive from Blitzcrank. They're looking to get down in that spell shield. It's still up though. It wears off. Do they reinitiate? If he goes back in here, it's going to be big. No, a teleport in from Boy. He is going to disturb this fight heavily, even with no mana. The ultimate is on. The Ragnarok will prevent him from being crowd controlled. And the grab is going to miss. Just at the last second, that would have been a perfect return on the fight. Nubish would have definitely secured his team a kill.
Yeah, if he had pulled in Hotshot, his ultimate was about to end. Hotshot did have flash, so maybe he would have made it out, but still a body slam for the slow. And CLG, this mid-game power, again, Cruiser can't make it down, so they've got a numbers advantage here. Big Fat can always come down with his own ultimate, but it's going to be a pretty secure fight. And there we go. The Dragon goes down, Hotshot smites it, they brought the gold back to equal. Great job by CLG.
CLG slowly bringing back the game into their favor. Doesn't mean you need kills. You don't have to tie that up. Gold is a huge factor in this game, especially if that gold is focused on one person. If it's throughout the team, yes, it's going to help the composition. But if you get somebody like Double Lift, as farmed as he was last game, he is going to be able to tear through turrets. He's going to be able to tear through lanes and pretty much any objective on the map. And that will just overall give you a huge amount of control.
Yeah, Prawley right now forced a little bit out of the jungle, wanted to steal something away, but Hotshot's going to get his raids maybe for free. Probably maybe try to steal one of those big raids. It's going to get taken out by Big Fat, though. Nice try overall, but he will ward out and look for those ganks from Hotshot once more. That ward's going to see him if he comes by, and he can escape pretty safely. So this mid lane is returned to kind of a farm-based matchup, but the farm, it's in Legion's favor. Prawley is up a good 20 minions here, and he wants to keep those kind of advantages.
Everybody just picking up the minions in their jungle, trying to get that experience up. Nobody's really level 10 yet, so we're still in that mid part of the game here. It's definitely going a lot slower than it was last time. CLG ridiculously just throwing this one back to their regular style of play we've seen from them before they headed over to Korea. And it seems like the LGN able to take this one off. Nubish almost going down there. You can see the burst from Prawley. Just a little bit more there. He did get about 10% more damage on his attack, so the damage trade, Big Fat's going to have to be very careful if they go through that again. Gragas does have that innate sustain on his Drunken Rage.
Yeah, and I know Blitzcrank is a really popular pick right now. A lot of you guys have to face against him a lot in your games, but look how CLG is playing against that lane. Double lift is Sivir. Sivir can, again, spell shield that, can get shields from his support, Janna. He's playing confidently. He's saying, look, I know you can be scary, but we can fight really, really well. As soon as he takes that Janna shield, he fires back and deals a lot of damage, and he forces Nubish back over and over and over. He's got no health sustain. That damage is going to stick. He forces him back to base to heal, and that's how you win that lane against Blitzcrank, is you know when you can win the fight, and as soon as you do, you play confidently. Blitzcrank has to run into melee range to do his job, which gives you a lot of time to land some attacks. They keep that rush warded. They make sure that whenever Nubish runs up, he takes damage for it. And that's how you win a lane against Blitzcrank.
So Freak, as we check out these buys, still it's kind of a slow build match. No core items finished here. Not that they would by 15 minutes. We're seeing some pretty good recipes. Actually, the Haunting Guys going out on Rumble. Not something you really see. Something we've seen from Alex Isha's builds on Rise once in a while. But going on to the Rumble, that's going to help him get a little bit of HP as well as magic penetration. So he can kind of keep himself sustained in lane. Maybe he's going for something else very strong next. Right now, he's only got the Blasting Wand. And we just see kind of recipes along the way. Corki, once again, going for the Triforce, and actually a lot of GP10s around the map as well right now, coming out of the hands of Legion. As we look over at Counterlogic Gaming side, that Hextech Drinker, on Hex Drinker, yeah, Hextech all over the place. Hex Drinker onto Voyboy. That's going to help him, obviously, with the Flame Spitter. With the Equalizer in lane, he'll be able to do a lot more damage and just destroy any of the crowd control that Rumble wants to put on him with Harpoons or the Equalizer. The BF Sword and more gold for 10 items on the map. Everybody's really figuring out that there's a stalemate between fights, and they're going to have to get this gold from other directions.
Yeah, Counterlogic Gaming actually just continually pushing their promote use again at this bottom lane. Demon Low going to pick down that minion just in time, but overall CLG gets free time to recall. They burn a summoner spell, they can walk into the brush. Actually, they're going to maybe wait out and bait it as Sivir's staying in the brush right there. They're going to look for another attempt, and they'll see if Corki might overextend. No, they're just going to go back for minions, never mind.
We have the blue buff on Big Fat. It seems like he has that half left. He's going to be able to use that against Gragas in mid. Gragas now, I don't believe, has his own right now. He does actually have their blue buff. He's a little bit over half gone. Going to go ahead with that Drunken Rage and still give himself the ability to stay in lane, but that blue buff cooldown allows Gragas to continuously throw that barrel roll out. His Q has such a high burst on it. The ratio just continuously throwing through, but wild cards as well, so they can trade that damage. Body Slam is a greater spell than the next one that TF can put out, though. So Gragas is going to be able to just crush down on TF in that 1-to-1, as we saw before. Nubish warding around here as Legion continuously trying to keep that map vision up.
Yeah, absolutely. The one-on-ones are great for Prawley overall. That Gragas is going to do better in those duels. But Counterlogic Gaming's Twisted Fate, Big Fat LP, he's got other tricks up his sleeve. He's longer ranged. He's got better crowd control. He can stun. He can dodge the abilities that come out from Prawley. And so if he fights correctly, if his mechanics are good, if he's playing the game properly, he'll actually have a better job in those one-on-ones. Even if his damage just by itself is a bit lower, he can evade a lot of those sources and, again, land that crowd control. This bottom lane just constantly the advantage for CLG. Doublelift deals so much damage. Already has that Bloodthirster. Legion will barely keep their turret alive. This is not looking good for them.
Oh, Big Fat couldn't land the stun card just across the elbow of the wall. We did see that boomerang hitting twice, completely slicing through Nubish. May see him building some type of armor soon. He did actually just buy a cloth armor after watching his health disappear. So there we see him trying to mitigate the damage he's taking, but that also means as the turret goes down, that Legion seems to be forced to recipe into things that are going to help them in lane instead of finish the items that are really going to carry them to this late game.
Yeah, Blitzcrank is likely to just stop everything and go for a quick ninja tabby. He just takes too much burst from Doublelift. He's still going to be facing up against Voyboy, who's going to do a lot of physical damage as well. And being one of few frontline targets on that team for Legion, he does need to be able to survive. Otherwise, you just kill the Blitzcrank every time, and it's a little bit of free gold, it's some free experience, and you ultimately drop a lot of the crowd control that your opposing team possesses. The good thing here for Legion is they have a really fast Oracles. Counterlogic's been spending a lot of effort by using pink wards to try to sweep wards, but those are all getting dropped out now. None of them have an Oracles. They don't have that same ward sweeping power anymore.
You know, it's a great job, too. They have their entire tanky front line down here for this. Gragas is going to head. He's going to teleport in, I believe, behind him. No, he goes up top to stop Doublelift from pushing, so they are going to be able to get this as he guards top. Very nice thinking by Legion to keep themselves present around the map, stopping the top turret, and right there Doublelift would have said, I can push this, I'm gonna retaliate with the turret and drop it up, but that's gonna be Legion pulling away. It'll be at 700 gold in the lead. It's still anybody's match as one turret on each side has fallen here in the 19th minute of the game.
Oh wow, and Legion has a numbers advantage of the bottom lane as well. They're pushing on for this lower turret, but Voyboy shows up in a 1 versus 3, but he is Olaf. He can escape from scary situations because he can pop that Ragnarok and be immune to crowd control. A good choice there, but I like the move from Prawley. Normally a great move when you get kind of caught unaware. Oh my gosh, the burst damage, Prawley down very, very low, and he will not take the pick raise. That's going to be free for him. Equalizer comes out, will not quite pick off Big Fat either. It was a nice attempt there, kind of just showing up and bursting, kind of counter-bursting actually the member from CLG.
That was a very great job. If Prawley and Cruiser were a little bit more on the same page, that would have definitely been a down Big Fat LP. And right now they're going to take out this mid turret. They don't really have any waves left, so they are taking shots. The Malphite shield goes down. It looks like they are able to just take down that turret and back away safely. Blue buff is up. We can see the pings going down. They're going to go ahead and donate this over to Hotshot, to Big Fat in mid. So he's going to come around for that. You can see him also grabbing a little bit of mana as he grabs the blue buff, which is also going to give him mana. Oh no, Boy comes away with it. Not really going to hurt him too much, but Big Fat would definitely like that for faster wild cards.
Yeah, ultimately, Twisted Fate is a champion that kind of has infinite mana because of those blue cards. But in the end, what you want to do is pop out red cards, the area of effect damaging one, so that you can sweep lanes faster, pick off all those minions really fast, and push and farm gold. So he is going to miss out on that gold buff a little bit. It's not the end of the world. Again, he can keep his mana up. He just won't be as quick around the map. If Voyboy can use the golem buff, yeah, it's nice. But yeah, a bit of a misstep there by Voyboy taking it.
Very nice. Giving each other gold right now. See Baron being awarded here as they start to move up the map. Chaucer does have that Oracles finally, as you said before. They did not have that, so sweeping around with Hotshot, power and numbers for this group. They're going to try to take down this top turret here as they may go in strong. It does not have much health. There's the ultimate. Once and back, he actually flashed over the return boomerang, saving himself quite a bit of damage.
Yeah, that was really good. Suzu did not know the rest of the team was there. Puts an equalizer down, but no one else is there to kind of turn that fight back. So all they do is push back CLG, but CLG is ready to leave. They had already picked down the turret. They had no other reason to stick around there. They're happy to go back to their own jungle and pick up some resources there. A lot of gold going on a Hotshot. So now the turret score is 2-2 right now. CLG have fully equalized the turret kills. They're still down 2 champion kills, and it's 1-1 on Dragons, I believe. So despite having a kill advantage ultimately, everything else has gone equally, and CLG is basically tied in gold as well.
So a full Bloodthirster now, 21 minutes into the match for Doublelift. He did just grab that critical cloak as well as the Zeal, which means he only needs the dagger and that much more money, almost that much more money once again to finish his Phantom Dancer. Again, he's going to be coming out on top. We saw him last game. After that, he went and built that last Whisper. It doesn't look like he has too much armor to deal with this time, just Malphite. So we're going to see everybody else pretty much going glass cannon on this. Corki, quick Triforce. You know, we have Gragas with a little bit of help from the Dorans, but he's really going for a fast Rabadon. And only the Abyssal Scepter, which is not going to help defend against that attack damage coming from Doublelift. So it could be very scary for Legion here quite quickly if Doublelift can get those items.
Yeah, there's actually something really good here for Legion overall, though. Doublelift is really scary. He's got a lot of minion kills. He's really farmed. But Legion actually has a big armor tank. First of all, though, Big Fat taking a lot of pain, and you can see probably actually moves back. He knows Big Fat has a burst combo. He knows he has crowd control. You know, he burned the ghost. It's good enough for him. He's going to back off. He's going to come back once Big Fat's cooldowns are a little bit down. Once his ghost wears off, he might come back in. Mid lane, though, is a place for aggression right now. Legion trying to make a 4-on-4 happen. Blitzcrank waiting behind the wall to look for a rocket grab. Though CLG does know about this, and they're going to hide in the top side of their turret out of range.
Quickly clearing these waves down. As we look at the CS, we have 227 on Prolly. And only Doublelift is the only other one to crest 200 as he has 218, 23 minutes into this game. So both of them keeping themselves farmed. The gold only about 600 apart still. It's staying within that range consistently. And since those first few minutes of the game, it's still 2-0 in kills. The focus has not been team to team. It's been completely objective in map control.
Wow, Big Fat read the situation amazingly. He went for the minion wave and then ran back for like 10 seconds. And right as he got to the brush, Legion was actually waiting there right at the golem. He knew he was a gank target right there and managed to save his ultimate as part of it. Really, really great sixth sense there to kind of escape from that and not get caught. Now Demon Lord forced to farm back at his turret, will keep the turret alive. It's still 2-2 right there. That mid turret is the one that's available. Now, earlier today, Jat did say that the middle turret is the really important one here. If you kill the middle turret, you give yourself a lot of openings into your your opposing team's jungler. Into the opposing team's jungle. And Legion has killed that middle turret, which allows them to roam around the map very, very easily. Counterleft has not done that. That big center point turret is still available, and they're not able to roam around the map quite as much.
Yeah, having that one down, especially if you want to get into the jungle, gives you a lot more exits as well. You have a lot better spot to just exit stage left if something goes wrong. and you can get out of that one alive. So with that down on the side of CLG, then they really have to focus where they're going to want everybody. Doublelift is going to be very good at pushing soon. He has that attack speed, he does have that ricochet up, and he's just going to be able to continuously pushing down lanes in seconds. Rumble goes back, but they don't have any wards towards that top side, which they may want to start thinking about. It's getting to that Baron time. If they start warding the top and getting that push down, they can leave the rest of their guys middle and do that CLG 4-in-1 split. But again, Doublelift is somebody they do need in the fight as well. So maybe it will be Mundo that stays up top. Maybe they'll kind of switch it around. They do have Big Fat that can jump around the map with Destiny, so we'll have to see if they really want to go for the split push here. We haven't even seen them, like I said, get into a fight. Now 25 minutes into the game, the turrets again even at 2-2. Legion going for that second dragon. Looks like they may be able to get this one as well.
Yeah, CLG is going to take their own golem, and this is actually something that Counter Logic Gaming Prime does a lot, is they don't care too much about dragons. You can see now it's going to work out as Sivir finally pushes the top lane against the dragon. We saw her try it 6 minutes ago when Probably teleported top to stop this push. This time he's not going to have that same luck. Doublelift actually going to get jumped on though, gets the turret but will fall as a result. But I think CLG is okay with this. They're going to lose 20 Bloodthirster stacks. That kind of hurts them. But ultimately, it's not a big deal overall. They are happy to just say, yeah, we'll lose a turret for it, or we'll kill a turret, we'll lose a champion, but no big deal. Let's keep the push on. It's going to be a 5 vs 4, and Legion's going to set the tempo here. They're going to start for Baron. This is the most important fight of these players' lives right here. Legion needs this win right here. The ultimate comes out, the burst. Hotshot's going to flash over the wall. Everyone else will follow suit, but he's Dr. Mundo.
Amazing.
You cannot easily chase Dr. Mundo. He's going to throw some cleavers back. He's going to keep running, and I don't know if Legion can easily pick up this kill.
I am so surprised CLG did not aggress from behind on that one. You had Gragas and you had Corki, two of the highest damage dealers on the team, out of the fight completely. You could have came up on their heels, now getting caught once again. It looks like Hotshot may be able to keep himself alive here, but no, he's kind of keeping it for his team. Their fight's in middle. He is still gone. They have to use exhaust on him just to shut him down, and that is not good if you need 3 people to take one guy down.
Yeah, and in the meantime, Doublelift teleported to the bottom lane. He is there. That turret is his. They've lost 4 champion kills in a row, but they're up 5-2 in turrets, and now they've picked up a kill. Thank you very much, as they have gotten the kill onto Frawley, and they are going to keep the pressure on. There they are in the mid lane. That middle turret down to half health. Legion are not able to react quickly enough to all these pushes, and they're losing their base, and the burst damage coming out from Twisted Fate. I think that almost drops down Demon Low.
They just can't do it. Finally getting back here. LGN keeps trying to pull away with the gold, but they can't do it. CLG keeps putting it back in their favor or within that 1,000 gold lead. And with that fight, it's just about even. 37,500 gold to 37,900 gold. This is going to be very big for both teams as they come up to that next Baron fight. We saw what it cost for them. We saw that Hotshot can play a huge force within that Dragon fight. His flash is down, or the Baron fight rather. His flash is down, so they're not going to be able to initiate like that again. It's going to be much more careful.
Yeah, and ultimately, the fact that CLG has now gotten most of these outer turrets gone means it becomes even easier for them to run these split pushes. Because it doesn't matter where it is on the map, Summoner Teleport will bring you there in 4 seconds. And the farther away you are as the crow flies from your opponents, the longer it's going to take them to get to you. So those teleports start meaning more because you're stretching them out farther and farther. Hotshot taking a bit of damage, getting slowed down, but he's Dr. Mundo. It's not an easy chase. Legion, you know, they can try to pick down these individual kills. Doublelift's gonna have to run back from the top lane, knowing that he's a little bit spread out as well. But it's very hard for Legion to push here. Twisted Fate eviscerates minion waves. It's gonna be very hard for them to kill turrets. Janna can shield turrets. It's gonna be very hard to keep their base alive. There's 2 Sona teleports and a Twisted Fate on the other team.
And we can see that CLG did use a teleport to kind of create that split push essence that they like to bring to the game, but right now pushed into their own base. This is great for Legion. This is where that turret control comes into play. Your minions are going to start feeding into the base. They give you vision. The Baron's going to be that much easier to get to that with the vision of your enemy team. Hotshot trying to come out and disrupt here. He can take a lot of damage. Not too much damage going out to him. He's going to just pop his ulti. He gets that up very quickly right now. It is on quite a low cooldown. He's going to have that once again in just over a minute and 3 seconds actually. So he's going to be back up to full health now. The team is ready to defend as they see Legion coming down the lane one more time, Freak.
Yeah, they do want to make these 5-on-5s happen. The gold totals are close together. The overall team fight presence is amazing from Legion, but it's just going to be very hard for them to force those battles. They get a bit of poke on a Chaucer. Demon Look gets a bit of damage onto that turret, but you can see that Chaucer on Janna keeps shielding that turret. Hotshot keeps throwing out those cleavers, dealing a bit of damage. You can hear those flashes every time they hit. Legion needs to make a fight happen. They don't really want to fight under the turret. They would love for a Blitzcrank grab, although if they grab Olaf or Dr. Mundo, it doesn't really hurt that much. You know, CLG wouldn't care if one of those got grabbed. It's going to be hard to get the rest of them. CLG just constantly clearing these waves out, Undertow, Boomerang Blade, everything just constantly just crushing these minion waves. Legion is pushing, but very, very slowly.
Yeah, this is where CLG wants it. One of their keys to victory was late game. We saw them switch that up and say, we can take the early game too. It doesn't always have to be late. But their composition is very big. However, the defensive late game potential of Legion is huge. That Malphite on the tanky front line, Rumble as well, getting quite tanky if he can get himself into a Rylai's Crystal Scepter. We'll have to see what he can do. They're just forcing out skills right now, blowing their cooldowns, making sure the minion waves are cleared. You can see the pick a card onto yellow as Big Fat LP was ready to initiate with his team there. If anybody got grabbed, it looks like they're going to be able to back out on this one, giving themselves vision as well. If they need to leave middle, they can see where that CLG is roaming around the map. Dragon should be up in a little bit. And Baron still waiting for a fight.
Yeah, Dragon not too far away. Baron's been aggressed on a couple of times. He has gotten a fight, but no one's really gone for it. Legion eventually lost patience pulling him in. Oh, nice. They pull in that Golem buff. That's a good reason to have Blitzcrank on your team. Going to grab that for themselves, denying resources finally. On that side, CLG have been taken away at least that Lizard buff recently, not long ago. Always going to get some free farm on the right-hand side. And I want to point out something real quick, is Twisted Fate, because the gold is so close together on both these teams, Twisted Fate's passive has gotten his team about 14 to 1,500 gold. Twisted Fate's passive, if you don't know, every teammate, you know, whether it's you or a champion on your team, when they kill something, whether it's a minion, a champion, a neutral monster, whatever, it's worth 2 extra gold. And if you do the math, you kind of quickly look at the bottom there, you know, 200, 280, 210. You've got about 750 or so minion kills on your side. 750 times 2 gold. That's the gold difference here. I mean, that's you know, that bridges the gap a lot here. And sometimes that does make the difference between an item and not quite having that combined. So there's going to be some cases here where that Twisted Fate pick just from the passive is actually making a difference here because this game is so close.
Freak, if you had to pull it out right now, both teams kind of neck and neck, but who are really the gameplay makers for each team so far in this matchup?
So you've got the Malphite, who's 2-0. He got first blood. He ran double gold per 10. He just picked up a Shirelli as referee this second. He's the big initiator for Legion. If he picks the right fight, you're going to see CLG lose members in about 3 seconds because the rest of that lineup can follow up. They've all got a lot of gold. Everyone on Legion is pretty damaging overall. If Lauda Mortis picks the right battle and lands a good unstoppable force, Legion is in phenomenal shape. For Counterlogic Gaming, it's gotta be Doublelift. He's got the most minion kills. He's got the most kills with 1 on his team. He's the big force here. He's got Bloodthirster, a Phantom Dancer. He's got a Last Whisper. He's almost got maybe a Quicksilver Sash or a Banshee's Veil. He's going to be hard to kill, and he is the biggest damage threat. And he's picked up all those turrets before. So if Doublelift can get dropped by Lauda Mortis, easy win for Legion. If Doublelift survives the battle, doesn't matter what they do, he's there to clean up.
Once again, Legion trying to pull ahead, and they finally break that 1K gold lead, coming up with the third dragon of the matchup. With the objectives being so scarce for CLG, they're really keeping themselves in this matchup through assists and kills, and that's really actually only kills as they have 1. So they need to get these turrets, the objectives going in favor of Legion. The turrets really keeping them in this, not the assists and kills.
Yeah, you know, CLG really wants to keep playing that game of mobility and global advantages. They're actually only up 2 turrets now, as Legion did a good job of kind of putting pressure on different places on the map, but the game is stretched out now. All 6 outer turrets are dead. 2 of the 6 middle turrets are gone as well. It's very, very easy, I think, for CLG to stretch these battles out, move around the map. I'm actually surprised they didn't do that when Legion was sieging the mid lane before, but CLG is going to be all about keeping those turret advantages. They've lost dragons in a row. That's kind of what's put Legion up in gold, but I don't think they're going to lose Baron anytime soon unless they get aced, and I think that they will at some point choose to send a teleport out of nowhere and pick off turrets. For example, this top lane, if you look at the mini-map, there's a big minion wave. It's bigger for CLG. So in the next about minute and a half, that minion is going to be right at the front door. Doublelift can teleport, and they can get a turret kill.
I think with these teleports, with the mobility of Chronologic Gaming, they're waiting for something completely explosive. They don't want to just go in on this one saying, we may be able to pick one off and win the fight as we duke it out if our cooldowns come up. We want to win that fight definitively, and we are going to completely teleport party onto this fight and make it happen when you least expect it.
Yeah, the one thing for Legion, though, is they have great pickoff potential. Of course, you've got Twist of Fate on one side, you can Destiny and then gold card someone, but when you've got Rocket Grab and Malphite's Unstoppable Force, and actually, here comes the initiation. CLG gonna go for this turret very easily. Bam, that goes down right away. There's the initiation, spell shielded by Doublet. Can they get the damage output? They've actually evaded the ultimate from Rumble as well. Legion makes a clean initiation, but CLG makes a clean escape there. Double had the reflexes to spell shield Unstoppable Force, and nothing else came to that fight. CLG got a free turret out of it.
That was very good. Loudamortis playing very strong right now. As you said, the one to look for Legion, he put himself in 5 team members of Chronologic Gaming and was able to just kind of waltz right out of there after taking almost everybody's cooldowns. This is going to be very good for their next fight, as a lot of Chronologic Gaming is not full health or full mana.
Yeah, but they've got so much mobility overall. When that Sivir ultimate comes back up in 35 seconds, they've again got the ability to just skirt around fights for days.
The ping freak.
They are pinging around that Baron Nashor. They do finally have that Oracles onto Chaucer. He has swept that out. CLG has started the attempt here.
They have to be very careful for Legion here. They want to be able to sweep wards as they go in. We'll have to see. CLG pulling back here. We actually saw this happen. I believe it was CLG EU who dipped around and did a backdoor Baron. When the other team was coming, they stopped doing the Baron. They came around to win the team fight and then take it. But CLG is going to be just kind of stopped out of this one. They won't be able to get around, as the Destiny shows exactly where Legion is. That teleport coming from Double Lift again, dodging out and flashing the explosive cast, as he definitely would have been caught out by Nubish on overdrive with a grab. Then Demimo would have been there to clean it up. So these guys absolutely disrupting what Legion wants to do as a team and causing them to be everywhere at once.
Yeah, I'm surprised CLG couldn't convert that entire situation into a Baron kill, because they got Double Lift down to the bottom. He got a lot of turret damage out of it, and they certainly pulled Probably away there. I think the fact that Probably still had Summoner Teleport was the only reason CLG could not pull a cheeky Baron, because really, CLG could push all the outer lanes, save everyone's teleport, save that Destiny, and then when Legion goes for the defense, they can all show up at Baron and blitz it down. Now, I don't think CLG necessarily wants to take that risk. I think at this current pace, CLG will keep building these incremental advantages and eventually close out this game too. But at the same time, their team, I can't really state this enough, their team has so much potential for just pulling out random cheeky strategies, kills out of nowhere, turrets out of nowhere, Baron out of nowhere. You cannot count anything out for the CLG lineup right here. Legion's going to get their Golem, but you know, these normal fight advantages, they need them. Legion needs to be able to fight a full 5-on-5. If they couldn't, they'd already be dead. And CLG just wants to keep doing this little cheeky split thing, and they're just building slow and steady advantages by doing it.
So, down on bottom, we do see Big Fat LP. They are going for the 4-1 freak. They feel comfortable enough to continue to start doing this strat. Before, they had almost no turrets taken down in middle. Now with that 3-turret lead, they've actually broken their way down to all of the 3rd-tier inhibitor turrets on Legion's side, after Legion was quick to take down that first middle turret and almost this 2nd tier. Hotshot going in, his ultimate not on just yet. The cleaver out, and there it goes. The Sivir all goes down. TF porting in, but Big Fat just a little far behind as the grab goes out. A beautiful Monsoon as Chaucer keeps himself alive, but that is going to be an ultimate for a regular ability. That rocket grab definitely a lot faster than Monsoon, and they're going to be able to go back into this one with a pretty good initiation. Chaucer grabs over the wall, and they absolutely blow him up for the 2nd grab. Like I said, rocket grab coming up faster than Monsoon.
Wow, excellent job. Loudamortis not going to like this. Will lose his Oracles at one more hit. Yes. Double picks up a kill, making it a 4-on-4. Boy's up there, probably taking a lot of bursts as well. Jumps in on Double, so much damage! They do pick that one up, and now here comes the fight. It's a 4-on-3. Can they do enough? Hotshot slowed, running away, takes some flak right there, and Big Fat's gonna go for a push instead on Twisted Fate. They're 1 hit from killing Hotshot. Can they get it? There is the kill, but Big Fat is just pushing this bottom lane. He can get a turret and maybe an inhibitor out of it. And they're going to see if they can make this happen. It's a 2-on-4, but Legion can't push right now because Big Fat does so much damage. Probably will sweep the minion wave. He will keep the turret alive. And now let's see if Legion can convert this into some aggression. They've got 30 seconds without Sivir, 30 without Dr. Mundo. They've got a numbers advantage. What can they get out of it? Well, Probably's going to take a lot of pain. First of all, Big Fat's really going for it. He knocks him into range. Can Big Fat do enough damage? Yes, he will. Exclusive Fate picking up that one.
And with that kill, we're actually going to check out the replay of the last as we have a teleport around the map. We'll see how that went down. And here we go, coming in. The equalizer goes down as they shut it out. And coming out of the fog of war here, there is a ward behind them, but they're absolutely forced out. Olaf just has to leave him. He cannot pick up Undertow. So Mundo without the ultimate. And this is great that they allowed Double Lift to come in, or not Double Lift rather, as they allowed Demon Lol to come in and get that kill. Anybody could have picked it up, but gold to Corki right now is going to be huge for them.
Yeah, that was a great move overall. They've got an attack damage carry with 2 kills and 2 assists, 317 minions. And this Corki, you know, I said it a second ago, it was going to be Lauda Mortis as the MVP for the Initiator, but the damage output is all coming behind him as Demon Lol is playing Corki with so much money. Bloodthirster last miss for Trinity Force. He's got a lot of pain on him.
We can see again Legion taking down, I believe, their 4th dragon of the game at 40 minutes. 46:02, that'll be coming back up, but will the game last that long for CLG? Legion putting a complete stranglehold on this. As we said before, we've seen surrender matches, and it looked like that would have been one for Legion in the first game, but they completely said, you know what, we're going to turtle this one out and figure out why CLG is playing this way. Hopefully we can shut it down next time. They brought a different composition with Blitzcrank being better for the single lane to a dual lane. So they've really worked this into their composition by not allowing CLG to play that last game strat.
Yeah, and both sides had lost their oracles in the last battle as well, which makes both teams a little bit poorer than you might have expected overall. And, you know, Blitzcrank and Malphite, neither of them picked up in oracles after that last battle. Jouster did stomach that extra 400 gold cost. So right now, CLG, you know, they have the mobility advantage. Their strategy has always been take these turrets down, push, 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 get these little cheeky fights on one side or the other, and now they've also got the vision advantage, so it will be very difficult for Legion to react properly here to CLG's movements. We can see them trying to push out minion waves on each side. This is the #1 thing that Legion needs to do, is they need to push all their lanes out. If they can, you know, keep the minion waves from being right at the front door, it gives them time to actually push on one of the lanes or go for a Baron or go for a Dragon easily. They need to make sure that they're not 2 seconds away from losing a turret. If they can keep the waves shoved out, if they can keep themselves from immediate mortality, then they can start making their own moves.
Freak coming up to this point, that level 16, level 17, and level 18, the near 1 minute death timer. What do these fights mean now for each team?
These fights really mean life and death. Either team gets a significant kill advantage. Actually, it's bigger for Legion. If CLG picks up like 1 or 2 kills for nothing, they can immediately go in and go for the push because the inhibitor turrets are all available, and that's going to mean a lot of pressure, probably a Baron right after, and then the game if they keep playing consistently. For Legion, they need a sweeping victory to get some significant headway into the enemy base. They have the ability to, though. They've got Inubish on Blitzcrank, who's going to have that rocket grab. They've got Lauda Mortis and Probably with Unstoppable Force and Explosive Cast. Legion can make fights out of nothing and deal tons and tons of damage. But at the bottom, Probably trying to find Big Fat. They've burned spells at each other. Probably's current health was from 1 ability combo from Big Fat LP. He can take him down in 2 spells. The kind of same happened there was Probably fired back. These guys are going head-to-head at the bottom lane. One of them could get a kill out of nothing, and if it's in CLG's favor, that's going to mean a turret.
Pushing that bottom lane. They are trying to come back out a little bit here. You can see the amount of wards that CLG has put on the map, pretty much making that jungle theirs right now. This is such a back and forth game, and it, like you said before, it's going to be big for Legion. It's going to take them a little bit longer to get inside that base, though. A complete second tier line of turrets still up, and as you said, Freak, all the inhibitor turrets around the horn ready to be taken down.
Warwick's taking a bit of pain right there. He's been slowed. Must pop his own ultimate to escape from these slows. He did not want to get chased down or pulled in by a rocket grab. So a couple of important cooldowns have been blown here on CLG's side. You might see Legion aggress in and try to take a fight kind of out of nothing. Probably Sona teleport is up. He's going to teleport in. The initiation is on. They've found Voidwood. They've found Doublet, but they anti-synergy that. They pushed him away. They're going to go for the inhibitor, but Twisted Fate is alone to push down this bottom base. He's going to take down some minions. They're going to go for the Baron pressure. It's going to be cleaned up quickly. Can the Hotshot steal it away? They're going to turn onto him. They deal a lot of damage. They pull it back in. There's a knockout. Will Hotshot fall down? Yes! They picked up their 3rd kill now in a row, and they're going to go back on for Baron. It's going to be their kill for sure.
Oh, Sivir teleporting as well. Oh, Sivir, double lift and Big Fat teleporting to the bottom. Only Gragas came back. A beautiful job by Hotshot GG as you saw Gragas at the 6th second of his teleport channel. It takes 8 seconds to teleport out, and he just stopped it as well. An amazing job there, and great mental gameplay from Hotshot GG around Baron. Beautiful damage coming out. Does not look like Cruiser can take too much. Now a 2v1. The Ignite is on, and the the death is saved. A beautiful job. The duo team of Big Fat and Doublelift inside of Legion's base.
Wow, and probably just needed to wait one more second. His ultimate is actually back up right now. That's all it would have taken to keep himself to win that fight.
And they're also taking a little bit of damage in their own base, only with Chowster to hold this off. The Howling Gale comes out, but they're able to take down the inhibitor. So right now, Legion actually went through 2 turrets and an inhibitor. More gold went into their favor, keeping them in the lead at 64,000 gold to 61,000 gold, but they did lose a few members. This is giving CLG that chance to scale into late game, and as you can see, they're starting not to walk over Legion, but starting to gain that real advantage.
Yeah, and I really like what Legion did, though, with that counterattack in the mid lane. A lot of people say, oh, we're getting attacked, quick, everyone recall, quick, keep our base alive, keep our base alive. Legion said, we killed 3 and 2 of them are bottom. That mid lane is yours for free. Go take that mid lane, it's all yours, enjoy that, no problem. And they managed to trade inhibitors. So yeah, they lost a couple of kills, so 2 of them don't have Baron buff anymore, but they traded inhibitors, they're up Baron buff, they're up in kills. And now, because their super minions kind of floating around the map right now, it's very easy for both these teams to push, and with Legion being stronger, they can push.
And we're going to check out that double kill replay once again of that duo combo teleport combination coming from Big Fat and Doublelift. As we head into the base of Legion once again, you can just see the output of damage. The yellow card stun onto Rumble, and Doublelift had enough time to just chase down Gragas as Big Fat was doing a great job at keeping Rumble occupied. They really just didn't have a chance to figure out who was really needing to be attacked. Chowster getting bursted down, tries to Monsoon, but it didn't even push Gragas away because he hit the edge of the wall right there as he was throwing his barrel, taking down Janna instantly. Legion now with a little bit of an upper hand in that one, but they aren't really going to need Chowster for their next fight. Yes, Janna helps. Her ultimate would have been down, but I believe with Mundo in there, they're going to be able to do a significant amount of damage.
Yeah, Hotshot can really stop minion pushes by himself very easily on Dr. Mundo. Burning Agony just crushes minion health bars for days. He can tank them. He's got a lot of regeneration. It's pretty easy for him overall. But what CLG needs to do is stall. They've got 20 seconds without their support, and Janna is a high-impact support. He's giving a lot of damage to Doublelift Sivir. He's a major force in that player being a damage threat in the fight. So CLG needs to make sure that they have their full 5 members. And on top of that, of course, they're not winning typical 5-on-5s anyway, because the initiation and the ultimate combinations here available to Legion is ridiculously strong. They need some disengage. They need Janna there to help them stay alive.
I think this is one of the weirdest kill games we've really ever seen. 0 kills for Olaf and Mundo, 4 on Doublelift and 1 on Big Fat. Usually there's a lot more trading, there's a lot more assists. The engage from CLG this game is only when they know they're going to win the fight, and that's not really something we see, but it was one of their keys to victory. They have to pick their fights carefully against Legion because of that aggression.
Yeah, and it's amazing the way they've sort of reacted to the fights as well. Oh, you're taking Baron, we'll take an inhibitor. You're taking an inhibitor, we'll take an inhibitor. These teams are reacting very, very appropriately. They're very strange decisions. Like the way this game is playing out tells you how experienced these teams are, where Counterlogic will trade a kill for a turret. They'll trade a Baron for an inhibitor. Legion, instead of defending, will counterattack. It says these guys know these strategies, they know the reactions, and that's what I was hoping for. I like seeing 3-game series. Everything so far has been a 2-0. They've been close games, but they've been 2-0s. This would be the first regional that would have a quarterfinal going to 3 games if this one's going to happen here for Legion's favor. And the experience here, they've made the right decisions. They've made the right adjustments. Legion is poised right now. They're in the advantage here in this game 2. They can bring this one to a game 3.
Both teams really very scared to get into any type of aggression right now. We see Legion even on their own heels, just saying we really don't want to do this yet. TF just too strong. The crowd control to come out, and really when you hear Sivir shout, when her ultimate goes off, she is going to be able to give her entire team that buff. They can leave the aura and still continue with the buff for that amount of time. You do not need to stay around her. Something very cool about Sivir's ultimate aura.
Yeah, and just the amount of haste overall from that team. You know, it's no Sona anymore, but still they have the Janna passive. Big Fat's going to be going for a Lich Bane soon, granting him bonus movement speed. The Sivir ult, as you mentioned earlier, they've got a Shirelia's Reverie on Olaf. They've got a Shirelia's Reverie on Janna. Olaf can become immune to slows. Dr. Mundo himself can run really fast as a function of his ultimate, and Janna has passive movement speed from her Zephyr. So everyone on CLG is super, super mobile. The only way they can die is if they get locked up all together at once. And we saw that happen at Baron, and that's what Legion needs to keep happening, is they need to do this, area of effect lockup. And that's how the fights need to go for Legion, is just a just slugfest all at once, lots of damage all over the place. CLG, they still want to split these battles up, and we'll see if they can do it.
Freak, everybody in the crowd, we're definitely on the longest match right now of PAX. The North American Regionals happening, and we are going to see Big Fat LP trying to get out of this one alive, but he is just ground slammed by Lauda Mortis. They take out Big Fat. Now on to Hotshot. Hotshot ulti goes off. That Spear Visage is going to give him 140 health per tick. Huge amounts of damage going out, but he is able to just keep it all in. We see Sivir and Olaf in the base wreaking havoc. The base race to be on is they're not going back. There's the exploding cast. Double lift with too much damage. The Zonians from Cruiser, and he does get the defensive item he requires. Now here comes the base race on the other side. It's going to be CLG forced out of this one, freaking Legion. Looks like they have a clean road to these Nexus turrets.
The problem is they have no minions. Okay, now they're finally coming in, but it's an interesting 2-on-3. Hotshot's so tanky, they shouldn't be focusing him. Oh, but here comes the teleport. They've got Gragas in the mix. Chowser's going to pop Monsoon. Can they do enough damage to these turrets? Hotshot's ult has timed out. They've got some armor there. The first turret's going to go down. It's going to be close. Boy is back up. Demon Lord's as much damage as possible. Two characters down. The ultimate goes off. Nunu's taking some damage. I don't know who's going to fall first. Boy is still tanky. Hotshot is still tanky. The randomness goes off. Boy picks up one, but the Nexus is available. Legion is trying to deal enough damage. Can they make it happen? They're trying to cut, and yes, they will. Legion brings it 1-1.
Legion pulling it into game 3. I don't think anybody expected this matchup. Completely turning CLG on their heads after what was a 20 to 25 minute matchup. They say, you know what? We'll take you into your late game. Let's check out the scorecard and see that these teams are now pitted against each other. The one of the North American favorites, CLG, on the brink of being extinct.
And Counter Logic Gaming, they were the best placing North American team in Season 1. They didn't do amazingly in the regionals. They qualified out, but on the world stage, they played the best there. And they're one game away from being eliminated from Season 2. One game separates Legion and Counter Logic Gaming from moving on. You saw Game 1 so dominant from CLG. Game 2, Legion with a million correct choices. That last push to the middle, again, the right members recalling. Their Nexus had no turrets left, but they had enough damage to kill off Double Lift and to push back Voyboy. Summoner Teleport brought Gragas back into that mid lane, and they dealt enough damage in time to take that Nexus. What a crazy game end.
And you know what, guys? Everybody had a sliver of health. Let's watch it again and see how Legion stayed alive in that fight. Let's check out the replay of that last push. Completely microing themselves in and out. They take down the inhibitor with no minions there yet. They focus down onto Mundo. Freaky said this was a bad idea, and it seems to be it is. Gragas body slamming in, and we can just see all the damage being dealt right now by the turrets. Demon Law forced out, but they're still next to the turrets. These guys are going so low. The entire team of Counter Logic Gaming just getting back into order, and now the minions fighting each other, but both of the Nexus turrets drop down before they can get back to base. CLG completely out of position on this fight. Look at how many people alive by the skin of their teeth. There's Nubish goes down finally. They focus themselves away from Team CLG. Chowser forced back onto the fountain, and after putting Gragas and Rumble back in the base, one of their smartest moves, the displacement, the slow, the ability to have to run away from those two champions due to their constant barrage of attacks thwarted the base race for Double Lift and Big Fat to able to do anything to the Nexus turrets. They were using that teleport efficiently the whole time, but Legion figured out a way to shut down the 3 teleport strat, and that's absolutely amazing.
Yeah, their overall choices, and it's weird, but like the MVP is the team movement. I can't even pick an individual player. Everyone made the right call. The MVP is whoever calls strategies for Legion. Now, it might be all 5 in a democracy, or it might be one guy, kind of like with TSM with Reginald, where he makes all the calls. But whoever made those calls and made the right call every single time. Any one of those situations where Counter Logic Gaming went for a push on the other side, if any one of those was a misstep, if any one of those was a bad call, if any time Legion made the wrong choice, CLG would have won Game 2. And they would have won it as convincingly as they won Game 1. So crazy. That game leaves me nearly speechless. It was just amazing. The ending was awesome. The fights were awesome. Everything in that game was phenomenal.
Guys, it is an amazing matchup. We will be coming into our first best out of 3 of the weekend here in the North American Regionals at PAX. We're going to be back after these few messages. It's do or die for Counter Logic Gaming and Legion.